Oh, here we go. And now we have to talk about different versions, also different interiors and so on. So let's start with the top version, but as I said, to me it's always very important also to show the base version, because the version you see here will be too expensive for families, period. But this is more like maybe like a business thing, hotel, VIP shuttle and so on. That's why we also start at the rear seats now. This is the top electric rear seat. So this one is only available in animal skin, sadly, the top spec. They don't have any alternatives to that in the top spec. In the lower specs, they do have a lot of alternatives. Soon when we talk about that. Also here with the extendable calf rest, for example. And this one is fully electric and cannot be taken out. The non-electric seats, they can be taken out. We will also soon do that for you. And this is more like this, yeah, this like chauffeur experience. You have inductive charging pad here, for example, with the smartphone. Here, for example, you can have extended cup holder, like an extendable cup holder like this. And then you can see here, these are the electric seat controls. And I'll move over then here. Now the question is, how did we do this shot? That was amazing, wasn't it? Yeah, so I had the camera and then I handed the camera over to Leah. That was smooth, right? So here now I can also electrically control the seat, put it forward, backward, also the backrest and so on. And yeah, that's very comfortable. Also, I like the, you know, like the microfiber seat cushion here. I also have a large panoramic roof right here. And at the moment it's open. It does have a shade. However, I want to show that to you in the most spectacular way. I have these controllers here. I can remove and then I can activate a cinema mode here. This is, by the way, the German lesson for the day. Listen and repeat, Kino modus. That is cinema mode. And now, ta-da-da-da-da-da, I press cinema mode and yes, activate. And now, oh, here we go. That reminds of the BMW 7 Series, you know, right? I think they looked at that one maybe a little bit, you know, also like with the sound and so on. And you see here the roof closed. And now I have this 31-inch screen here, widescreen format, 8K. So the resolution is really pretty crisp. And now I can actually swipe down here because it's no touchscreen, but I can slide down here on this and then have kind of like this mouse controller, and I can watch YouTube videos. I can connect via HDMI. There are some online apps I can also choose for that to watch movies and so on.
The camera function is
and there's
funny.
also the camera function for video calls and so on. There we go. There's Leah, hey! Oh, you have to move your camera away from the... Yeah, now everyone can see you. So, and this, you know, then you can have like video calls in here if you like that. Yeah, not sure if people would really use that for video calls, but I think it's more the thing that you would really use like different apps for film viewing and so on. And then you can watch the movies like this, or you can zoom in to have it on the full right screen. So yeah, spectacular thing, definitely like for this high-end thing. What they're also thinking of, that when you, for example, an owner of a luxury hotel, that you can like have your own branding there, that people get in and then they already see like the image movie of your hotel and so on. So this all would be possible. Deactivate, there we go. Also the side here, the side shades, they move down. By the way, something very spectacular, which is unusual here. When I lower the window, which also has dual glazing here, by the way, it goes down completely. That is very unusual here for this van segment. Yes, it's a van, it's a van, it's a van, it's a van. The Mercedes guys are not hitting me yet, so it's a van, it's a van. Once again, I think it's no problem to call it a van because, as I said, my brother is searching for an electric van, you know, for the 3 small kids. And that's fine. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to be the grand limousine, honestly. And here, by the way, there are some buttons that you can also individually slide this top cover back and forth. The question is, what do you do with the rear there? Because you can maximum house up to 8 people with that one. And this is a 2, 3, 3 would be... that's 8, yeah. In this case, it's here the 7 setup. Let's see. I was good in math, actually, at school. I didn't like math, but I was still good at it. You know, sometimes this happens like it's, yeah. And then I can also pull this lever. In this case, electric seats, they go forward. And then this is like this entry possibility to the rear seats. You can, yeah, maybe Leah can take a look at there with the camera. You can use that rear bench. Then, of course, not too much trunk is left. Quickly here, what I still want to show you, when you have electric seats here, you can pick different schemes. For example, activate executive scheme. And then you can also do that with the app, for example. And then here the seats automatically go backward, that you have more space. The calf rests come out a little bit as well here. So this one moved a little bit forward. But you can also, for example, activate the baggage scheme. And in this case, then here, even the front seats go a little bit forward. These executive seats move forward. And then also the rear bench, maybe you can go in there. It will later, they say, go faster. They will get better electric motors for the rear seats. So this is actually quite slow at the moment. But as I said, new electric motors that are quicker for the series production version. And yeah, it looks like, you know, like they're bowing down, right? Like they bow to Leah, you know, like to their queen. So I think this is a practical solution. And then you can have it, as I said here, with the smartphone app, but also in the front in the infotainment. This, however, once again, only for the electric seats, naturally. And most versions will probably have the manual seats, which is also more practical for families and so on. And we're going to show that to you. Now the cockpit here, we picked the brightest car for that. So here, steering wheel with rocker and roller, how they call it here. Manual volume jog on the right side, left side for the cruise control. Glad to have the physical dials on the steering wheel back again. So by the way, here also one with electric control then in this case, and also shifting pedals for the recuperation. Then digital instruments, you can also have satellite view in there. Then a main infotainment unit, 14-inch, and this is the so-called super screen, means you can also have the passenger screen. This is an option. Otherwise, I can soon show you the base model where you have like, you know, just like graphic here. And here, what's new is when you press and hold the home menu, you can actually individualize your lower menu. For example, you can set like the door opening to the left side here. If you're maybe like a shuttle driver and want to have this one in this position, and yeah, you can save then these positions. That's also quite interesting. Climate unit always in the screen, sadly only like this, and then you have here, for example, steering wheel heating, seat heating, seat cooling, everything in this view then, for example, and then you can also check the variable rear seats from there. Then you can see here all. It's a cool visualization here of the vehicle, right? I like these wheels here better than the ones we actually saw on the car. Head-up display is of course also there with this box there. It's hard to see on camera, but you can also get a head-up display. And I love this matte wood decor element. This is beautiful. You can pick different stylings, and we also have it here, for example, at the middle console. 2 inductive charging pads, both ventilated as well. And then you can also pick the driving modes like here. Then you can also adjust the air suspension, for example. Soon also talking about more about the suspension. And here volume up and down also with the manual function. And the car internal map. Let's see. There we go. So the car internal map. This one looks like Mercedes, but behind is now all Google Maps. How it's also guiding you and so on. So they now set everything, every sale on Google, basically just have this Mercedes interface. And you can of course also go for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but then you don't have the route recalculation for the charging stops and so on. That's just in the car internal Google system right there. And here, this is the long middle console where you cannot, you know, like reach through the middle. But here then you can get a fridge or heating function, and UV disinfection is also, so there's a fridge where you can also disinfect your smartphone in the fridge and also cool your smartphone or the drinks. And yeah, and also when you put your drinks in there, they are also like, you know, sanitized at the same time. So when my brother will ask me which one shall he choose, Leah would tell him, go for the AMG line. And here, when you take a look at the split glass here, then we do have the shelf here. And yeah, you can put your, this almost looks like a gun storage, right? So yeah, you can put something here, which is maybe, well, maybe this could be an umbrella. Yeah, but umbrella, there's like split here.
Maybe short umbrella.
To tools, maybe like tools or something, or maybe like.
What is it in Germany? The short umbrella. This,
yeah, these very short umbrellas, like
German name for
I don't know, how do you call them? Like there are some brands who are famous for that. Maybe yeah, something like. But what do you say for a short umbrella? Yeah, maybe discuss it in the comments. And I also want to open the whole thing right there. Wait a minute. Of course. There we go. Electric hatch, flipping the logo, there we go. And then you can put this shelf here up like this, but you can also remove it like this. So this would also be possible. And there you already see these sliders. And we're also soon going to show you, you can also take out the whole seats, but you can also slide them forward or backward. But even more interesting here with this one is of course the interior. Then rear seats here of the AMG line. This is the manual setup. And hey, look at that. We have microfiber seats, microcut they call it, and Artico leatherette on the outside. Sporty look, that's pretty cool. Also with the red seat belts here as the contrast. And this is, so to speak, the normal seat. And this one is already pretty comfortable. You sit upright, soft also from the cushioning and so on. Pretty cool here also with the adjustable arm rests, and I can also adjust the back part, and there we go, make it more sleeping position or more upright. So this is both possible, and you can slide it back and forward like this. There we go, very in the front or more to the back or maybe in the middle position. Here now you can also see the difference between ambient light and no ambient light. Let's see when I turn on the ignition. There we go. Ooh, there is the ambient lighting in the top all the way around, and also here, look at that, round here in the back part of the seats. You also have these, these cubby holes here. This in this case without charging. It's a rapid separate climate unit, and the lower part here. There we go with some copper doors. This is super cold, by the way, super cold. And yeah, there's the front fridge again. You can even make these, these tests where people like measure like the threshold of pain is done usually with like ice water, and we all know women are better in that one. So the male competitors there, they always have like the lower threshold of pain.
Thomas with a cold.
Thomas with a cold at home is like, oh my God, everything is so bad, And then when Leah has something, it's like, no problem at all. Yeah, I'm good though, when I have like, crashes with the bicycles, and because I used to ride motocross and crashing is normal. Always soccer, like when you have like open knees and stuff like this. Yeah, that's so. Everyone has different pain threshold for different kinds of pain, but just on the factual side, yeah, men always feel pain way more intense. That's why, the poor men, they would not score well here with the like fridge or ice water test here. There we go. So when it's like super cold in here, try to hold it, as long as you can. But it's cool that you can actually like cool or even heat some food here if you like then in this top thing. It should be one circle though, we gotta ask that. By the way, here also as for the headroom, there's a lot of space above your head, no problem as for that. Did I already show like the windows here with also dual glazing here, and that goes down completely. Yeah, pretty cool. You can also leave a lot of light in here. So I'm also happy here with the manual seat setup. As I said here, backward and forward. I can also slide this one way forward that I can easier access than the rear seats. In this case, we have a 6-seater setup, and this one then also here ensures the third seating row. There we go, also forward, backward, however you want to configure that. And even here, yeah, with 1A9602, that works headroom wise, no problem. Also good space, USB-C chargers here as well. And you can also have through bench, so like one bench here, another bench there, has like 2/3, 1/3 split. I think we do have another vehicle where we can also show you the bench setup. But now it's also time for some cockpit viewing. And here we go with the AMG line cockpit. First of all, with these beautiful seats, look at that, how the microfiber is also, like accentuated here in the shoulder part, for example. So here, by the way, you can also make the seat a little bit longer, and you can even get this interior completely animal free if you like. we would also opt for the animal-free steering wheel. It looks the same, feels the same. You can also pick that in the configurator, very interesting. So yeah, I guess since this one here is the LIA Mercedes VLE, we would probably go for this one. Yeah, it's pretty cool here on the microfiber seats. I really like it, and it looks really classy indeed and sporty. And you can also get the according sporty decor element here with the carbon fiber, for example. Yeah, that looks really stunning indeed. This is, by the way, the standard glove box. And inside of the doors is not covered. I see it right there. There's a lot of space there. Yeah, there are some rubber pads like this. But you gotta say, like the whole setup, the whole build quality and the solutions here is high class. So the logic is that the VLE has like the status of the E-Class, and that surely works in many senses, maybe even above that. And the VLS should be according to the S-Class, but you saw that you can even spec a VLE S-Class alike. Here, by the way, underneath this large middle console, you have more space underneath, more charging possibilities as well. And this, like here for the perfume spender, I think, yeah, should be like that. Yeah, so you can do a lot with that one, and you have this typical van-alike upright, yes, van-alike upright seating position. So I mean, I'm really impressed because this is really a completely new setup, and driving like a V-Class is always like driving something like, you know, commercial thing. You know, yes, you do have the air suspension with the V-Class as well, but it was always like this somewhat commercial touch while driving it. And this all makes the impression that you have like a premium van, more that feels like a car. And we can also, you know, take a first spin. We will show that to you later on, and let's see if that confirms my first impression. And now we come to a more base version, and the interior even more interesting. Then let's take a look front first. This one here is equipped with the Artico leatherette seats. So this is then the you know, the man-made leather, but you can see here it also has this, you know, like this nice structure inside. So this is then maybe best for the family, that you can easily wipe that clean. I heard that this one is also available with perforation and cooling. We have to see for confirmation in the configurator later. Here with a nice bright decor, for example. See it right there. Steering wheel the same, also with the physical dials. Inside of the doors, by the way, of the base version, also here with the bright decor element. Here's also soft for your elbow. This top part here is also soft. And then here, you can also lower the windows. 4 window levers, important. Also dual lamination. Not sure if that one will be an option. We have to see about that one in the configurator. There we go, but it's good to have like 4 window levers. And we have like these some rubber pad on top, on the bottom here, and also in the lower part, and also for the base version. Just for the seat comfort, it's also actually easy to get inside. The ergonomics here in the front is actually the same. Here then you have like a manual control for pumping it up yaw. This is like up and down. Here this is like the front inclination of the seat, by the way. Also change that, even if it's manual. And then also here, you know, that you can make the front part a little bit longer. So this is all possible. And of course here then also with moving backward and forward already with the front seat. And let's see here the inclination. That's maybe the only tricky thing then when it's manual, because it's here at the left side. And then it's also closed with a wristwatch and so on. So you have to turn this one then backward for the back. Yeah, this may be like a little bit too far then, you know, but you see then how it works. I think it's also very important to talk about that. And this one as a base version also has the manual, but it's also a nice function here to control that. And you can see here the instruments when they have this classic styling with the speed, and here also with the range meter. I think that looks also quite cool. Interesting also how they made here this design here next to the air vents. So I would say that the base version does work very well. This one also, for example, does not have the head-up display in that case, but also the dashboard is like with a soft touch leatherette style. And yeah, if Leah can come around, we can also take a look here at the middle console, because that's also a little bit different. There we go. I try to open the door from the inside as a good gentleman. There we go. So, because here, this is the short middle console, and that can be better maybe like reaching something over to the kids or something. You have a little bit more space than here in the front. or if you want to come from the rear to the front, then you can move freely around. You have the inductive charging pads here as well. It's also the nicest bright deco element, and then just more space underneath, where also with charging. Or you can maybe put things here in the middle. Yeah, so
Drinks.
or maybe some drinks. Yeah, but then you don't have the cooler. And also here, no passenger screen. So you have the start. At the moment, they are not backlit. Let's see if that one comes maybe later. And from here, I can also easily go through the rear. So that is then the advantage of the. Leah tries to open the thing. Yeah, with the capacitive controls, it's always the thing. But yeah, I can easily go to the rear. Then we also have the leatherette here on these seats. They are comparable to the ones in the AMG line. Also here sliding backward and forward, and with the armrest. But you also have this upright seating comfort. In this case, we also have the glass roof, once again with the ambient lighting. And the difference is then here, for example. I can also show that to you. So we can also move this one here completely down, for example. This is then the rear bench. And you can see it is basically a 2/3, 1/3 split with the rear bench. So when I move this one then here, I do move the whole bench. That's interesting, yes. But to take it out, you can see here, there's the split, because this one here, so you can take this one out, but you can also take these two seats out. So that is it's a very interesting system indeed. So when I move all the way back, yeah, this is then all the way back. Oh, the headroom also raises to the rear a little bit more. Yeah, so a lot of flexibility. But the big question, of course, how easy is it actually to take out a seat? And let's just try that. So there is like this lever here, for example, at the back. I can pull that one. There we go. And then I basically unlock the rear part like this. And that's actually it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So that's it. So the seat is out. It's about 30 kilograms. Is of course always easier to do it with two. And then I could also, for example, move it in a different position. But the even more exciting thing is when it is actually pulled out. Now do that. This is Thomas live in action. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So now I just don't want to hurt my lower back because I still need it. So it is kind of heavy, but you can handle it alone, but with two is easier. And now, as the doctor says, go down to the knees. And now the cool thing comes. We can now play a little bit with them and slide them around in the studio, because they have wheels below. That's the cool thing, right? Yeah, I don't want to damage the floor or something. But that's actually cool. Or you can maybe also let's see how it is with the weight, that it doesn't fly around here. I can also theoretically move this up again, like this. There we go. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't lean backward now, but you can see I can even go like this. So that's a very cool function, because they are heavy, and then when they are once taken out, you maybe want to roll them around in the garage or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And then now you can also take a look here at these sliders there at the inside of the vehicle. And you have maximum flexibility. And you remember that, for example, the VW ID Buzz does not have the function to take all the seats out. So this is, I think, a crucial function to make this, this looks really funny, right? Crucial function to make it really flexible. And once again, thinking about my brother, when maybe the kids grow a little bit older and they maybe still have that vehicle, or maybe take a new lease or whatever, you can adapt it to your situation, and or maybe when one kid leaves home. Yes, my dear brother, this will also happen at some point. Be prepared for that. And then maybe you have two kids at home, so, and then you can be more flexible, or maybe put more luggage in, or maybe put a bicycle inside the vehicle, whatever, So that's, I think, one of the coolest things here about the all-new Mercedes VLE, or what do you think? By the way, Leah just said when I do like these jokes, like with the seats, and roll the seats, that I'm a little bit like Phil from Modern Family. So I'm not sure if that's like I should be happy about that or not. But he's a likable guy, isn't he? Yeah. So here, standing underneath, see it works with 189 6x2, and it wouldn't be a full auto-refill episode if I didn't measure the trunk. So there we go. So first of all, the width. This is 1 meter or 40 inches. So, and this is then 1 meter 20 or 47 inches. Pretty nice. And the maximum height right here is like 43 inches or 1 meter and 10. And this is the setup with the seats all the way forward. So no seats out, but all the way slid forward, the second row and the third row. And this is then a length of 49 inches or 1 meter 25. Yeah, and then it's hard to give like real other length measurements because it so much depends. By the way, here you can grab this one in here and then pull the rear. This you can also see very well again these these wheels underneath. There's the second one. Then when you put out the two part, and there's the one part, like from the 1/3, 2/3 split. There we go. And you can put it all the way backwards. Yeah, let's see if is that the maximum? No, that should be the maximum now, right? Yeah, I think that's it. And then the minimum trunk length here is about 22 inches or 57 centimeters. That's it. Yeah, and again, it can be all the way through. If you put everything out, it would actually be interesting to have the full length, so to speak. So from here to the front seat, isn't it, right? So let's see if we can somehow score that. So I'll just begin with these. Let's see. There we go. So this yeah, that's very interesting. How do I measure that? I just try it like this now. And then we are to the front seats. Yeah, I think I now got the measurements. So this is then, so I now have to calculate. So this 2 meters plus 60 centimeters, so 2 meters and 60. Yeah, I'm talking about Phil. Right? Yeah. So, and we have to calculate then what else? We have to calculate 78 inches plus 23 inches is 101 inches. 78 plus 23 is 101, isn't it? Should be, right? Yeah, so that is then the absolute maximum total length. Good to know. And we even have a fourth car for you. And this is here, the rear setup with the vis-a-vis seating, and this the seat, let's say, in the middle. So this is already a comfort seat that is above the base seat, but it's still manual, that you can still, move it and turn it around and slide it and so on. So the solution in between. Let's see, I can also move in here, and I can show you also the function that is available here for the comfort seat, also for the electric seat, for example. So this is like here, this, there we go. So I can put, for example, my laptop here. There's also like this small lip here. Then you have this tablet you can work with, and then you can store it here in this side armrest. And there we have to be like a little bit Tetris, like this. So, and there we go. And then you can also store it again, and yeah, maybe have this conference then also with your peers here, for example. So there you can see once again that these different solutions are available. And now I will function as a seat, because this is the base seat here now with fabric on the inside and also different fabric on the outside. So this one would be the base version. But fabric seats, I mean, internationally they sometimes don't work that well. In Europe they are more popular, and I think it's always a good solution because fabric here on the inside and the outside, I think it's actually pretty cool. It's breathable and it serves a good function. Maybe not so easy to wipe it clean, but for many customers this will serve a good purpose.